My name is Jason Lang. I'm the CEO and co-founder for BloomBoard. We're a very new, different, data-driven distribution channel for education. We all know that districts spend billions of dollars a year on stuff, whether it's technology. If you listen to the Bill Gates keynote during South by Southwest, a lot of what we see is these budgets are actually merging in terms of how you spend technology, how you spend content, how you spend training dollars. And that the reality is all of those dollars are spent, and none of it's based on data. Districts actually have no idea what they spend and where it actually goes and how it's actually being spent, and it doesn't do anything. And at the same time, districts have really weird, perverse incentives because their budgets are all use it or lose it. If you don't spend your budget this year, that's going to get reduced, and you're not going to get it next year. And at the same time, recognizing that this data is so valuable, the government has created massive legislation under Race to the Top and under the No Child Left Behind waivers that means that districts have to collect more data. They have to create better observation systems. And most importantly, they have to create a new evaluation system that's basically putting millions of new teachers in a very tight time frame on a new evaluation process that's an unprecedented shift towards collecting more data. And so what we thought is, well, that's a really amazing opportunity. What if you could go build out an observation tool? You've got these several million teachers coming onto an observation system. What if you could build out an observation tool that you could customize at the district and state level and make it really beautiful and really simple to use and help manage all the workflow that goes along with that? And then what if you gave that away for free? And so now, from a technology provider's perspective, if you're giving compliance tools away to districts and states for free, you've made a lot of new best friends, right? A lot of these mandates are unfunded, and so districts just simply don't have a budget line on them for evaluation, and yet they have to keep compliance, and so they have to go through these processes in order to how to collect the data. But in reality, the data is much more valuable than the actual collection mechanism. Because if you can collect all that data, you can then use it to build out really beautiful visualizations and predictive analytics about how teachers are struggling and where students are struggling and what their survey data says about school climates. And when you combine all those different data streams and you use these free data collection tools in order to get scale, that means you have massive data that you can now use to create truly individualized recommendations as to how to help teachers, both with their own personal professional development. As Alex suggested, right? Districts spend just in professional development and just on training alone $6 to $8 billion. And so we've created this marketplace that's truly data-driven that now allows us to individualize professional development training at the individual teacher level based on their own needs, based on thousands, hundreds of thousands of other teachers just like you. And we take a revenue share, which means is we can give away more tools for free because we actually can recoup the cost from the PD providers that are actually selling in the market. And the really interesting switch that happens is that now that you can create really high quality recommendations, what districts have come to us and said is, well, what if we could purchase prepaid credits in the marketplace and let us actually give you our PD budget so we don't have this use it or lose it budget incentive? And now districts can really empower their teachers to own their own development because I can actually give $300 to every teacher in my building and let them spend it on whatever they want because I can track more data. And that allows us to actually get into some really interesting ROI analysis on what's actually working and how we're building out better recommendation algorithms all the time to determine what's actually helping teachers and students improve the most. And the next logical leap for us is, right, if you all of a sudden create a distribution channel around the how to teach, plugging in the what to teach is relatively simple because you've already trained your delivery mechanism. You already trained teachers in the same tools. And so we really think that this idea to a brand new data-driven distribution channel is going to revolutionize the way people think about distribution. Where have we come? So we launched in January 2012 with just 5 districts that we started out with. Today we're in about 125, 130, depends on the week, that we work with across our different providers or our different districts. And we've got 2 state-level agreements, one in Colorado, one across, we'll actually do observation evaluation for the entire state of Delaware. We've got 3 additional states that we're bringing on within the next couple months that are all deals that are currently in progress that we should be able to announce relatively soon. And we just got awarded in January the PD Marketplace contract for all of LA Unified. And so we're really excited about bringing on their 45,000 teachers and being able to use the data they're collecting to actually individualize support directly to those teachers. And so with our existing trajectory and in plugging into some of the other observation tools out there, we'll actually be able to reach more than 1,000 districts inside of the first year and a half, 2 years that we've been live. And that means we've now got a really valuable value proposition for all of our content partners. And so you may notice some of these names up here. We've now taken really amazing brands, really amazing content providers, and created and put them into the distribution channel to help actually individualize recommendations of their content. And so how can we then also take that same data, and once again, as we think about additional business models, we can take our same data, our same analytics, our same predictive analytics, and sell that back to the PD providers, again, to actually let them do gap analysis. So we know where across the entire state of Colorado, where teachers are struggling. We know what their student data looks like. We can then create a gap analysis for what content exists in the marketplace and sell that back to PD providers that now let us tell them where they should develop new content in a much more dynamic ecosystem. In terms of our own team, I have a background. I did part of the teacher prep program at Yale, went into the private sector for a couple of years and was on the investor side in private equity and investment banking. Then I went back and did a joint degree at Stanford in the School of Education and the Business School, worked for New Schools Venture Fund and slept on Alex's couch for a while. My co-founder, our CTO, spent a decade at Edison Learning and Provost Systems before that, building out learning management systems and formative assessment systems for students. And so it's really about how do you apply those same dynamics. What we do is not novel. What we do is simply apply predictive analytics and differentiated instruction that we use for kids. We just apply it to adults. And so he has an amazing experience, and I'm really excited. We actually just brought on our chief user experience officer who wrote a book called Seductive Interaction Design. He's one of these top 5 world-renowned gurus around usability and how do you create beautiful mechanisms in software to really engage your users. And he does all these speaking engagements with keynotes around the world around usability. So we brought him on. He's our chief user experience officer, and he also used to be an 11th grade teacher. So we're really excited about that, and then we have an amazing panel of investors that we're really excited about the leverage and the experience that they bring to our business. Thank you so much. Please seek me out if you have any questions. Thanks.